Everyone, and welcome back to Ryam. I wait with bated breath to see what villainy, probably just Kate, has come up with for this week. I'll give it a beat. Alright, that just means it's coming later. But I'm Scoot, your dungeon master here in Ryam. And as is our tradition, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. And this week's question comes actually thanks to a throwaway comment I think Deb and I were talking about a while ago about Friendsgiving, which of course in a D&D world we make up whatever holidays we want. So now one of the high holidays of the friendship religion will be Friendsgiving, which is basically just Thanksgiving, but
with sheep.
With sheep.
Oh no, you don't eat the sheep.
You don't eat the sheep though.
Yeah,
the sheep is never on the menu.
No. You just put, like, instead of having turkeys, it's just sheep, and particularly Fran. So, Gaffers, take it away.
Get away to where? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You go for it, Randall. Sorry.
I think that's okay. I think we're all, I'll speak for myself, slightly out of it today. So, Scoot, you're perceiving like re-entry blues or whatever. Hi, everyone. My name is Randall, and I
still
play...
don't trust this, just so everyone is aware.
We're aware.
That's our secret goal, Scoot. It's just to have you always on edge during every session. I play Kiki, the Kenku Tinkerer. I think gratitude is an interesting concept for Kiki. I mean, she certainly had her fair share of hardship in her life. The first thing that probably come to her mind is her family of choice, which is like her mentor who took her off the street and taught her about the tinkering, and very much the Gaffers now, who've like proven themselves to her time and time again, and like in combat and out of combat, making sure she eats on occasion, maybe even takes a bath now and then because she's so in her head with her projects. I don't think she's quite ready to say she's grateful that her birth parents are back in her life yet, but there's motion in that way. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I'll go next since I almost stepped on Randall. Nikki is grateful for many things. I'm sure I will be, one of all of us saying this group of friends that we're managing to hold together, and that the nub has welcomed her, and that apparently she has land. Like, that was pretty neat. But really just she's super grateful that she can what's the right way to phrase this? I guess found a career. I guess adventurer slut wizard is a career. Sure.
Breaking archetypes, Nikki. Breaking archetypes.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
That's right. Where she really gets to
zippers
like
and books, Nikki, and don't let anyone ever tell you any different.
Absolutely. But she's just really grateful that like she's found a career where she really does get to like practice magic and be really, really hands-on with magic every day. That's literally her childhood dreams. It's pretty cool.
I can go next. I'm Deb. I play Tessa, Tiefling Paladin. So none of this is going to come as a surprise. So the three things she's thankful for: her friends, obviously, that she's able to kind of build this life together and do good in the world with her favorite people around her. Obviously, Thrax and Bosco for supporting her and being there and all the usual stuff. And also that Fran chose her as her champion so that she actually has a goal and like something to work for and something that she can devote her life to.
I guess I will go last. I'm Kate. I play Allie, our half tiefling, half kitsune monk. Allie is also thankful for a lot of things. Definitely the friends. Definitely for Kem and Bendo. And also definitely for like having a family that is just so willing to roll with the punches of, you like doing weird things. And this is true for all of the kids in their family. So like, and on a personal player, not character note, I am very thankful that Scoot has not yet murdered my characters in various and horrible ways for all of the various puns I deal upon him. I'm very grateful for that. I'm also on a serious note, genuinely grateful that not only did I, meet Scoot by sheer happenstance of a random roommate who moved in my last year of grad school, but also that I got to meet all of you guys as well, because I am genuinely grateful for the group.
That doesn't make up for last time. Just so
Yeah, I know. It wasn't designed to.
Good. All right, all. But now that we've done that, a little recap. It's been a while. So last time, about 2 weeks ago, our time, about a day or so, because this is the morning after a lot of shenanigans happened that night. A lady came out of a book. You got some info from her about the book, this other book that Allie was given. That's just this sort of roadmap to the plane of Valhita, which is not a very kind or nice place. And Kiki had a real emotional day as she had her pretty much first interaction with her father, or at least sire, because Kiki had to come from somewhere. But not technically her mother, although her mother was in the room. So at the end of the last session, though, you were trying to find more information on this Segretti and kind of what her deal is. And the lady from the book told you that, well, there is one place that kind of stores weird knowledge and obscure things kind of get to, and it was referred to as the plane of SWOL. You would just have to find your way there. And you have it's up in maybe through the astral sea or some method like that, but that's where you are. So it is dawn of the next day in Ryam. Everyone's gotten some sleep. The book gal is just passed the fuck out from a lot of things happening. Kiki, at some point, I'm assuming you kind of wandered, because you were posting guard on her door to make sure nothing happened, but Kiki's dealing with her own baggage at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if it seems like everything's pretty, well looked after at the temple, she might wander back to her shack very indirectly. I think she would just sort of, with Pinion, her Iron Hound, she just sort of like take a very windy path back to her shack, because she wasn't expecting to see her biological father there, and the conversation went really well, but she's a little bit like, and she has this pendant now that from her parents, and so I think she'd kind of walk around like looking at it. She wouldn't put it on yet, but she'd be looking at, like, taking it out of her pocket, looking at it, kind of putting it back, and just thinking and doing this strange thing called feeling, where she's kind of forced out of her head because she's such an intellectual being. So yeah, I think that's what she would do.
Okay, so Kiki wanders for a while. Everyone kind of heads back to bed, and morning comes, as happens. I'm sure Nikki is probably still asleep at this point, because it is like ass crack of dawn. But I'm sure Allie and Tessa are awake doing whatever. So is there anything you two would do? Do you want to wait for the others to get up and kind of Kiki to sort of come back to functional, not a little ball of feathers and emotions, from what clearly happened? Because Tessa felt the sort of wave of Kiki, although she doesn't exactly know what happened, but something happened.
Yeah. It's not all bad, it's not all negative, but it's just it's a roiling kind of mix. And I think she's even just feeling uncomfortable a little bit with the situation, but she's also feeling uncomfortable with just this like depth of feeling, because she had just thought her birth parents were out of her life, right? And so now it's just like she's recalibrating her worldview. Yeah. So I'm sure Tessa might pick up on the complex nature of her emotional state.
I think she will, but she's gonna wait, for Kiki to get up and because she knows Kiki needs some time to process things. But I think based on Kiki's emotion, Tessa herself might have gotten a little scattered, so she's probably baking up a storm in the kitchen right now to focus on something. And probably baking whatever Kiki's favorite dish happens to be. I don't know what it is, but I assume Tessa would, because she's a better friend.
I think Kiki would, like, she's not super food focused, which is weird for me as like a human being to say. But
whatever it is she does eat.
She would like little snacky things, like either Chex Mix or granola or something like that she can just sort of like.
Oh, I got you. I make a good granola for Kiki.
There you go.
I assume there are many chocolate bits inside granola.
Yeah, it's a hodgepodge of all sorts of delicious things covered in sugar.
Of course.
as the best granola is. Because, I mean, we can call it a health food.
What do I feel like the
Absolutely.
Kiki version has like espresso beans in it?
Yes. It is more like
Those
a
little
Chex
chocolate
Mix at
covered
that
ones.
point.
Yeah.
Definitely a Chex Mix. Or not Chex, TM.
Totally
not
Chex TM.
Totally not Chex,
Till we
but
get
it also
that
has
brand
espresso
deal.
beans.
Until we get that brand deal.
Checks out.
Chocolate,
Sponsorship.
Check it
chocolate
out.
espresso beans.
No, I heard
granola.
that, Kate. I'm just not.
Not responding.
No. So the day has come. You know, everyone's kind of up and around now, and you face a interesting prospect of trying to get to this plane of SWOL. Do you want to follow up on that lead? Do you want to go do other things? What would the Gaffers like to do?
I mean, I think SWOL makes sense. I know that Tessa was pretty, not shook. That's too strong a word, but like the whole like person coming out of a book and like this happening in the temple, like it just
No bueno.
yeah, like I could just see like Tessa's got her like, you know,
What
Yeah.
information was it that we were gonna get from that plane? Like, I know, I need a refresher in my memory.
Right. So more or less, it's a sort of place where like information is kind of it goes there. Like it manages to find its way. They have copies of old things and the plane of SWOL. It's just a place where stuff happens to go. So if it's like moving around the verse, it's sort of a place that items or books can kind of be. And
Right,
they
but what
just
are we
sort of tend to
looking
be there.
for? What are we looking for there?
Information on Valhita and Segretti
Segretti.
specifically.
Okay, so like just in general, like about the plane and about.
Yeah, because you
Segretti.
guys
Okay.
wanted, Allie wanted information about her, and
Okay,
your book friend said that would be the place to get it.
Well,
okay, I'm caught up.
In that case, swell sounds swell.
Okay. So, how do you folks plan to get there? Because this is another plane of existence.
Who's got plane shift?
Wait, can
I
Sylvia do
might
it? I thought
do
Sylvia
it.
said she could take us there.
You said you have a method to get there. She can. She's just wondering. I think somebody said, "Oh, we have a way to get there," and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now."
I don't know if somebody has plane shift. That's a high level spell.
I do not. If she could teach it to me, then I could have plane shift.
is
I haven't found
There
any
has-
spells in a while, so
can I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but heartways are. Can there be a heartway in another plane, or they all
One
have to
in
be on the plane?
Celestia at the Grand Temple, but that's the only one that's not on the mortal plane, to my knowledge. They have to be built.
Arcana or history check, everyone.
also this is a little metagamey, but I just counted up and I never picked my 2 level up wizard spells for our most recent level. So if
Would you say it
Google
was
let me pick
Arcana
after
or
the fact, I could pick
History.
plane shift.
That's a 25 history check for Allie.
18 for Tessa.
Is this really the tide? This doesn't seem right.
All right, everyone's rolling into the like upper teens,
Woo!
20s.
That was a history check for Kiki.
Yep. So most of you folks at
Like
this
4,
point,
yeah.
yeah, you know that like getting anywhere from the mortal plane is pretty difficult, but up in the astral sea, it's a lot easier to kind of bounce around and move around. So it's possible you would need that spell, but you're not overly familiar with the plane. This is sort of like a smaller one. You're not sure where you would end up. But if you head up to the astral sea, they will kind of be able to go, like, they'd be able to take you there through, like, the front door to make sure you get to where you need to go.
We can go to Celestia. We can go right to the Temple of Allura there, and then we can kind of work our way from there. I'm sure somebody there would know.
Could we do the same kind of thing that we? I might be mixing up games, but I think that we went to Starville where
Drax's mom.
Thrax's mom lives, and then like meteored ourselves down into the
She did that.
wild.
She did that, and she can...
She
Thrax's
did that.
mom could
She'd
probably
do that
help you.
again. Could Thrax be like, "Hey, mom, can you just like look aggressively over at.
Can I have a ride?
Yeah.
Can you get my friends?
Mom,
can you get my
can you
friends
pick
to me
us
around?
up?
I want to ride to the mall.
She would be,
Yes.
You could ask.
Yeah, whatever works.
Okay. So Thrax has to wait for nighttime, because that's going to be the easiest time to talk to her, since it's like the day now. So he's going to do that tonight. Do you folks have anything you want to do during the day, or do you just want to skip to there?
I want to give Kiki her granola Chex Mix concoction. I've never made it before, but I hope it's delicious. Should I roll for deliciousness?
Yeah. Here comes that one.
What am I?
It's
What is
D20.
it?
Just
What
roll a straight up
performance?
D20.
Oh, okay.
Alright. I'm sorry in advance. 11. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
it's pretty
not a
good.
1.
Yeah.
It's 2 1s.
Two
That's pretty
ones,
good.
11.
For your first bat, you think there's some improvements, but like Kiki, I don't know if Kiki likes it.
Kiki will nod and like thank you, and you'll notice she's really distracted as she's shoveling fistfuls of it into her beak. Like she really does mean it, like appreciative, but she's kind of like I'm trying to picture a bird eating her. Like I picture her like a human throwing it in her mouth, but then like she have to like do the little.
Probably.
I think Kinkus have teeth. I can't remember. Anyway, she's she's appreciative, but you can see she's kind of like not entirely present.
Okay. So, anyone else before we get to Thrax talking to Mom? Okay. Night falls. The night sky is very starry this evening as Thrax kind of gets himself to the top of the temple. And Tessa, you can see his wings go full star, ethereal, as he's clearly talking to somebody. And he looks, he kind of flies back down after about an hour or so. He tells you, yeah, Mom said she can give us a ride, but she has something she wants.
Yeah, what do you want?
All right. This is gonna be weird. I know, but like, she wants all of you. She wants to throw you the bridal shower up there.
Okay, I guess I don't have any objections to that. I don't, like, how people gonna get there?
No, like, she wants to throw, not like, she's, I'm sure your family's gonna do one for you. She wants to do a separate one up there.
Aww.
Okay, I don't have any objections to that. I think that's kind of nice.
Okay,
Cute.
you're gonna have to, also, she wants you and Allie to explain how shoes work.
Okay, I need to make a stop at my aunt's to get the special shoes, but yes, I will go to, we can explain shoes and heels. And how to cheat with the heels.
Yeah, she doesn't really get... She knows what a foot is, but normally, like, when she's in that humanoid form, she's barefoot, because goddess. But she likes the idea of shoes, but...
Who doesn't?
Allie's gonna let Tessa explain them, because Allie hates wearing shoes. Allie would go shoeless all the time if she could.
Tessa likes comfortable, sensible shoes, but she realized that's not everybody's deal, so she'll bring Neri's special, like, magical heel
Heels.
Inserts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like a magical spell that makes it so that when you're wearing high heels, it feels like you're wearing flats.
Nice.
Does Kiki hear this conversation at all? Because she would start sketching out like pounds per square inch of force of the foot on, like gravity and then like friction, and she would start like showing about like wear and tear on the foot, and then
Literally
she'd be
talking
like,
about
and
this
then
out loud.
Yeah. probably
she'd be like
are.
shoe. And she's like shoes.
Oh my god,
Here's how
shoes.
shoes work.
Oh my god, shoes.
Oh my god, shoes.
And he goes, okay, we're good. And before any of you kind of realize what's happening, you all just feel yourself being lifted, like ripped up into the sky. Very quickly as you leave Ryam below you, and it's a sudden stop as you are back in that astral kind of starry place where Thrax originally took you. And there's his mom, sort of still forming into like the humanoid shape that she did the first time, but again, like kind of gossamer star, and she's just smiling. And Tessa, she looks so fucking excited that you've said yes to these things.
I think it's adorable how hard she's trying to look human.
Yeah, although you see on her feet, she has the general shape of a humanoid foot, but there's like 4 toes on one foot and about 7 on the other.
Okay, so you're gonna need 5 on each. One of them is much bigger than the other, and those are the inside toes.
So she makes a big toe that is like way too big. Like she evens them out, but like it is much bigger.
Tessa decides there's an easier way to do this and takes off her own boot and socks and it's like this, and she kind of points to her own foot.
And you see her cock her head as she just sort of it takes her a second to really line everything up. And you folks are watching as like toes are appearing and then receding back into the foot, not in like a gross way, because it's star and dust and like cosmos, but like it is perhaps a little unsettling to see like 10 toes get fused into 5 and then sort of even out into what in theory it should look like. She does try a hoof for a couple of seconds to see how that feels, and then she looks at Kiki and tries a more bird-like one, and you see her just kind of like, but she's got one hoof and a talon and is walking kind of like she's trying on shoes to see kind of how she feels about it.
I love it.
Like a chimera.
She's a chimera.
Do we know her name?
Zavia.
Zavia?
Zavia?
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know how. Zavia.
Zavia. Okay, thanks. I was very much in this like, Bax's mom, could you give us a
mom? Could you have it right?
She then does. She looks at Allie and switches to 2 like foxback paws, and she seems pretty into that. Like she's kind of moving back and forth, like she found a good pair that works.
No, Allie doesn't have those. Like Allie just has humanoid looking.
No, I know, but she saw your ears and the tail and was like, "Wait a minute!" And then she's like, "I can do this." Ooh, and she likes the sort of springiness of the back legs.
I need to introduce her to Pinterest.
And kind of just bounce around a bit.
Yeah, and she's just sort of following you, and like it's this fox that's moving around, and then this giant goddess which is sort of happily following her like a large, very large child, just having a good time. And as she laughs, you hear this sort of celestial ringing coming out of her mouth, as she has forgotten to speak in common to you. And Thrax is like,
because Allie can understand her now.
Yeah, she's just giggling and laughing and saying how fun it is if you can speak celestial.
Well, tongue of sun and moon, so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we contributed to a goddess having a foot fetish. Well done, Gaffers.
Well done.
So after about a couple of minutes, after about 20 minutes of this, like this whole shebang, Thrax is just like, and she's like, oh, right. And she has you line up in front of her, and you see her sort of staring beyond you, like past you, as if she's searching for something. And then she finds it and goes, okay. And then just...
Oh, Kiki speaks up. She goes, second. How do we get back? Because we never remember to ask how we get back from places.
And she nods at you, like, right. And you see her kind of...
We never remember. We're always like, how do we get out of this now?
You see her take what looks like not a necklace, a bracelet off. It looks like a couple of beads just pop off, and she hands one to each of you.
Say thanks, Mom.
Thank you very much.
Allie thanks her.
And she'll say to Allie, like, are you ready in Celestial?
I'll nod.
Okay.
Oh, Kiki's like, do what with... She's like...
And she smiles at you and then just whips you across the cosmos.
You don't need explanations when you're a deity.
You folks go shooting across just miles, and it's odd to see Ryam from the height that you are. Although you notice it is clearly round, like it is objectively round, objectively.
But what if?
You pass through a couple of you see other planes because you can see kind of the abyss. You see the Everwilds, but more towards kind of the center of the wheel where she is. You know the star and kind of the star realm that she lives in gives way to an inky kind of grayishness, and then you start to hear music, but it's upbeat kind of electronica gym music, like the kind of ambient background stuff that they play, and it's fairly upbeat, and you hear metal clanking a lot in the background, just things going up and down, and then you hear grunting but not yelling.
Tessa knows where we are.
Yeah, so you
She's familiar with
eventually land, and you find yourself in the plane of SWOL, where you look around and everyone's either really big like Tessa, or just sort of worked out, shredded, and cut. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh God.
Oh, don't forget to add your +5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
I got a 17.
I
have a +15 to that, and I got a
21
17.
with the plus.
I'm scared.
Do we get to go meet Broden?
Oh no, that's a critical fail for Kiki.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna let. I have a crit spray. I'm letting it. I'm gonna let it roll.
Right? Okay. So
yeah.
Allie. So
Did you add your +5?
Yes, it's a crit, but it's still a crit fail even with the 5.
You have a 0 wisdom saving throw?
I have no. She doesn't have any bonuses to wisdom.
Huh.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I figured Kiki would have a
She's
+5
intelligent.
to wisdom.
Oh, wait,
She's
sorry,
in-
this got a proficiency bonus on it, so that should actually be a 19, Scoot.
okay. So everyone makes it but Kiki, and
Aw.
Kiki, you have this overwhelming urge to work out. You need to be in a squat rack right the fuck now. It's not enough
First
to make
time
you do
Kiki's-
you're not gonna threaten your life or your friends to do it, but
Yeah.
you gotta pump some iron.
Can Kiki, to fulfill this need, can she clasp a bar by her talons and do crunches? Does that count, or does it have to be
It is this sort of,
could she hold a weight? Could she hold a weight? And
it is this but it is this innate urge to work out. It's not
Okay.
overwhelming your senses, but every time you pass a machine, there's just people doing workouts, people doing body weight, or people using machines and racks. Normally Kiki would be wondering oh, how does this pulley system work for this one? But now you're
that's true.
yeah, and that would be her normal curiosity. But this is what part of me does that work out? You're kind of looking at Tessa and Allie because they probably know, and you're
yeah.
It's a whole new field of interest in this moment.
Tessa
Kiki
just realized
has-
that it's leg day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kiki has very little impulse control. People might realize that. So she'll just go over and she'll mimic what she just heard someone say, "Hey, can I work in with? Can I work in a set with you?"
Yeah.
She'll mimic someone's voice, "Hey, what's up?"
So you see this very swole dude just kind of turn around. He's got a headband on, decently short, not overly short shorts, but definitely at the knee, and a kind of cut off. And he's "All right, little bird, jump in." And he just
Nice.
helps you, and he looks at you, and he looks at the rack of weight. So he is on a squat rack, and there is clearly too much for you. He's trying to be nice, but he goes, "So what do you max out at?"
Kiki really does. She just shrugs. She doesn't know. She really has no. She's never done this before, and she doesn't know how to do that calculation for the biological part. If it was pulley system, she'd be able to do it.
All right, we're
She's
gonna
like, I'm squishy and
we're gonna start
variable
with
force
the
output.
bar, and he unracks all of his weights
Okay.
and lowers it to you because he's much taller than you. And he goes, "All right," and he starts explaining how to do this in the form. And because once you look and be "I have no idea," he's "All right, we're gonna make sure you don't break nothing." and then he lets you go into the. I need you to make a strength check, please, Kiki.
Oh dear God. This is some funny shit. Because Kiki also has like nothing to add for strength.
Hey, crit! Yeah, and like Kiki, you're like, you got it on your back, and it makes sense. And you folks watch as Kiki starts doing some squats, and like, Ali Tessa, her form's not bad. You're not sure exactly what it should look like for a Kenku, but she's not doing it wrong as far as you know.
Like
Some
her
joints
she's out,
that
she's
move
sitting down like the
curiously.
chair.
Yeah, she's doing what she's supposed to. You're not sure, like, bird legs might be a little different than your more human ones, but like, she's doing all right. And the guy's like, "That is some awesome form, bird bruh," and he puts up for a high five.
Kiki looks around. Does she see anyone else high-fiving? Does she know?
Yeah, other people are high fiving and celebrating
Okay.
together. Yeah,
She'll do the high five. Yeah, she'll just be like, bruh. She'll just be
Bruh.
like, bruh.
bruh.
She'll
Alright.
mimic bra speak back.
You want to
bruh.
put some more weight on here, bird bruh, or are you just looking to do a warm up set?
Nah, brah.
Alright, no problem, then.
But you'll see her reach into her bag and pull out some random cloth and make a headband for herself. She's taking mimicking to like this like now a visual level. And I could see her calculate, like her brain still works, right? So she's the reason her form is so good is because she still understands lines of force. So she's like, okay, so she's applying her brain even though the brain is willing, even if the body is weak. With Kiki.
Yeah, like you're gonna, and in about 5 minutes, Kiki, you're gonna feel those squats in your legs. But for now, he's like, "All right, happy to have it. If you need a spot, let me know." And he, says goodbye to you, and then he readjusts his set and starts putting his weights back on that he was gonna do for his set.
Kiki be like, "Thanks, brah," in his voice. Bruh. Bruh. Like she'll just keep like mimicking because she doesn't know when it's supposed to end.
So every time you do that, he's delighted, and you just get into this constant loop of Kiki mimicking him doing something, and the rest of you are watching this endless. She's caught in a loop.
Oh my God, dear God!
I can't stop watching it.
When can I make another save? Send him to face.
You're just getting like hoo-ha, 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 and it's just back.
Oh my
and
God.
forth.
I think some of her intellect has been temporarily suspended by the head rush. Rah.
Is anyone gonna stop this, or are we just gonna let Kiki do this into infinity?
Well,
I don't want her to get hurt.
Yeah, Ali will come over and kind of just lead Kiki back.
Oh,
You need rest breaks.
Bruh.
In 2 minutes.
Bruh. She'll just keep pointing at the equipment. But if you speak in those terms about that, like rest between sessions.
Yep, you need rest breaks. No, Ali's picked up on like you are caught up in the moment. She sees that. You need rest breaks between sets.
Kiki wants to see if there's any like protein shakes or juice bars around or anything.
Make a perception check, Kiki.
Perception. 14.
Okay, you do see what looks to be like an Asimar, woman, but sort of again more like this one looks more like Ali, right? So it's a little bit. She's a little slimmer, but definitely more toned, so not big like Tessa. And she is giving out. She's giving out samples of some kind of liquid and some type of chewy snack.
Just like samples or something,
Yeah,
or
just
like
samples. Yeah.
Oh, Kiki will go up and speak in what she thinks is the local dialect. She'll be like, "Bruh,
And she looks and she's like, "Bruh,
bruh,"
bruh,"
and then
bruh.
Kiki will point at the drink and sandwich and with her eyebrows raised, be like, "Bruh."
Oh, bruh. And she now informs you that they have wheatgrass, cotton candy, worms, and she refers to it as hellfire. And they're like corresponding colors. And you see they're bought, like they have tubs, but they have different folks on them. So like the one that's worms is like an Arakoa. So it might be more fashioned for something that's like a bird's physiology. Like, all of the tubs have different species upon them, like a dragonborn, a human, a bear creature, like...
Kiki will nod at the worms one and just be like, bruh.
No. She hands it to you.
Kiki does it like a shot, I guess, or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know how big it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little shot, and
Yeah.
Kiki, it is... It's odd, but it tastes good, and you now can add a d6 to one roll whenever you'd like for the rest of the session.
Okay, that's the funniest shit ever. Okay. Kiki will see if, like, she'll be like, and she'll, like, nod to her friends, forgetting that she knows how to articulate. Like, even with her speech stuff, she's still, like, she'll just sort of, like, nod to her friends and be like, brah! And she'll gesture to the drinks to see if they want any.
Thrax walks up. He'll take one. He'll take the Hellfire. And he'll do it. And then he burps and a bout of flame comes out of his mouth.
That's a collapse.
And she looks at the rest of you going, oh, are you folks with the Kenku?
Sure are.
We nod.
Is there, like, something I can help you with, or...
Is there a place here? We were told that this is a good place to go if we needed, like, information on stuff, but it just looks like a gym.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's the plane of SWOL, and, you know, we do a lot of working out here of the mind, the body, and the spirit. Are you looking... What kind of information are you looking for?
Do we just want to jump into it, guys? Tessa says over the Slap chat.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah, we're looking for information on Vahida.
Oh.
Like, plane.
And on a goddess named Sigretti.
And you say that, and she's just like, ugh.
Tell me about it.
And she goes, is that her? And points to, like, back, like, where the register is. And there's a bunch of pictures of, like, beings to not let back in. And there's, like, Asmodeus. A very plain-blooming woman looks like Sigretti.
A wall of shame.
Cord is also there. And it just looks like he broke a bunch of shit, and they're just not letting him back in.
He doesn't... He doesn't put the weights back. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. He's been
Leaves
warned
them everywhere.
multiple times about that.
He doesn't wipe the sweat off the bench.
No.
Ew.
Dude, that's the worst. You walk over to the bench and there's just that little puddle where, like, the foam's been dented. You're just like, oh,
Nope.
I gotta go to a different gym now, I guess. Like...
Burn it to the ground.
Weirdly
Because, like-
enough, like, there's Palor's symbol on it, too. You don't know what he did, but he is apparently not allowed back here.
Let me guess, he spent too much time in a tanning booth or something.
Probably. Get an hour, sir, that's it. But yeah, she goes, well, if you want, you know, specific information, you're going to have to see Ironclad High.
Where did we find them?
Oh, up there. And you see this massive, like, Gothic cathedral. But all of the gargoyles are just, like, doing, like, curls and, like, planks. There's, like, a bunch of them doing those military, like, 4-person push-ups, just decorating the outside of this thing. And it would look ominous, except for, like, the very positive, upbeat music that is clearly radiating from this thing. And a clock strikes 12, and you hear, like, sandstorm coming from the bells. So, like, it's a really odd thing to be looking at. Like, this, like, kind of scary Gothic cathedral, and then it's like, and everyone's just kind of there jiving as they're doing whatever.
Now, I could get behind this kind of learning. Thought we were gonna go to, like, a plane of books or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of stuff ends up here. We just sort of keep it. Yeah.
As Nikki's just, like, having a grand old time
Jamming.
over there.
Yeah.
By the way, Kiki, that critical fail is going to stay with you the entire time you're in this plane.
Nah, alright. She'll join in with the... Is it like an insanity workout or something? Like, what are they doing?
It's not that. Right now is, like, the kind of, like, the background radio. But as you, if you folks walk towards the cathedral, you will see, like, spin classes, boot camps, all sorts of physical stuff. You also see, like, meditation happening, and, like, very chill yoga is also going on.
Nice.
You do see a hot yoga, except that shit is actually on fire. and there appears to be beings that like can handle being in literal flames, just doing like downward dog, and it's like being in her hot yoga, and there's just like three
looks really
bale
for that.
It's in an oven.
Yeah.
So
There's, like,
Allie has immunity to fire now. Allie looks very intrigued by that.
yeah, but there's like three bale fiends and a couple of angels just doing it. And everyone seems to be getting along, and no one's messing with anyone, so everyone's just doing it.
Alright.
Yep. And there's like a Balrog leading it, who seems oddly chill for what's going on.
He wearing like
Very good.
80s color clothing.
Oh, he is in
Neons.
yeah. He's got that like half
Yes.
shirt that goes over where his chest should be.
A crop top.
He's
Yes.
absolutely in a crop top.
I imagine that we just like look over and like Kiki's still with us, but she's just like doing calf raises to the music as we walk. And like,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm picturing Kiki in a jazzercise outfit.
I was gonna say if there's a gift shop,
Oh,
Kiki will make a beeline. We're talking flash dance off one shoulder, cut,
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
leg warmers on her bird legs.
I feel like you have to go through the gift shop to get to the cathedral. Like it's a core
Yes.
part
No,
of
no.
the
Yeah.
experience.
As you folks approach, there is a dress code that you have to abide, and you have to dress like some. Your adventuring gear is not allowed in. Like you're not bringing
Oh.
bombs and guns in here.
Wearing monk clothes.
I guess
Right.
my armor and sword is not really
Like they
proper.
will give you a small bag that you could like. They basically give you a fanny pack of hold that you can put that shit in.
Yes.
But you're not allowed to be brandishing weapons at the gym.
I mean, that's
In the cathedral.
That's
I need to go to Pinterest real quick.
I will note that neither of Allie's weapons are visible as weapons. She's got a hairpin,
Hang on a second.
and the other one's a summonable.
So they won't see the summonable.
Nope.
Yep. So you do see that a little imp demon is there, like he's like kind of the bouncer, and there's a much larger rock construct gentleman standing behind him with like basically a Chippendale situation. He has pants on. You're not sure why he has pants on, but he does. He's got and then cufflinks and the bow tie, and he kind of looks to you and like motions to your hair, Allie.
I'll take it out and put it in my bag holding.
Yep.
I think it's so funny. It's like a character who's only wearing pants is like Nikki's anathema. Like it's an immediate deal breaker. She's like,
Hi, Nikki.
the anti-Nikki. Okay, Nikki will step into like one of the little changing rooms there and come out with. And for a second, you all double take because you think that she is wearing yoga pants. But then you look closer, and it's just an illusion. She has like a swimsuit on.
Okay, but your bottoms are covered.
Yeah.
Your bits, okay. Because they
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
they have
the
people that
bits
can
are
see
covered.
through
The
that. They're
bits are
like,
covered.
you're not working out naked. We're sorry. Like it's a hygiene thing. There's things here that sweat acid. No.
No, she has
this
like
is for your
a
safety.
swimsuit with like a mini skirt kind of a thing. Like you're going to the pool, but you're not there yet, so you have
Right,
a little bit
okay.
of a skirt action going on.
So we know Kiki is her '80s flash dance attire.
Allie's just
She-
still in monk clothes.
She just illusioned the yoga pants to mess with all of you.
Tessa does have to take off all of her armor, so that might take a moment.
Canonically, several minutes, right?
Yeah, it's
So
Dolphins in a while.
She like changes into like her usual workout clothes, which is basically like yoga pants and a sports bra. You can see the abs.
Yeah, Thrax has
Nice.
taken to this gift shop, and he shows up in a mesh shirt and like small shorts.
Yes,
Nice.
fantastic.
That is a choice he can make.
we are here for this.
And
Love
Bosco
it.
has little leg warmers on
Yeah.
his little cord feet and
Yes.
a headband.
Four leg warmers.
4 little leg warmers, yeah. So you folks now meet the dress code. Allie, you sort of do. They ask you if you would like to change out of your like normal clothing.
Yeah, like, what Allie's wearing is absolutely workout gear.
No, and they're just like, do you want to switch so you're not like going home sweaty in that? That's more of a question of that versus like you don't. Not that you don't meet the dress code. It's, are you sure? You know, if you have another set, feel free.
Allie just shrugs. She'll stay.
Okay,
She's going.
that's fine. So you're all allowed in, and this place is massive, and there's just people just running on like these weird machines that they're not going anywhere. Ellipticals, like a very tricked out gym. And they all...
Probably never seen this kind of stuff before,
No, you
I imagine.
haven't. Like, training this is very different. A lot of those classes, there's a big track, and, like, it's sized for... And, like, some of the machines are sized for different creatures. Because, like, the Bale Fiends are big and on fire, so, like, they have to have things that can kind of accommodate that, and they do. But there is another information desk over the gift shop that has more free samples, and is, like, club info.
Kiki starts asking about like the platinum level membership. Like she's a little hyped up, like given her crit fails, so some of her colleagues might need to restrain her. From...
You do realize you can't get here, right?
The transportation's a bit. But we could look into like getting some stuff maybe installed at the nub.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna work out, I'd be happy to train you back at the temple too. We got some equipment there. I mean, it's not this fancy, but it's there.
Kiki looks back at all of these like tricked out rooms and stuff with just she has big sad bird eyes, and then she puts the pen down. She doesn't sign.
Think of all the money you're saving.
Also, maybe take the time while you're here to try out some things and figure out which ones you really like and which ones you're like, about. Because the best kind of exercise that you do is whatever kind you're actually going to stick with.
Until the crit fail wears off.
I was gonna say, like, Kiki immediately makes a beeline for the next workout room, and she just goes, whatever it is, it just goes in it.
It is a... Let's see what it is.
Oh god. Oh god. I knew he was gonna roll for this.
It is a... It's a swim class.
Okay.
But it has,
Kiki's...
like, little kids that are kids that are roughly Kiki's size. So yeah, you can hop in on that one, Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki will do it.
Yeah. So you see, one of them comes over. This person's a little bit different because they have a like polo, like an athletic polo shirt on, and they have a name tag.
Kiki be like, hi.
Well, you're in the swim class. This person approaches the other people.
Oh, I see. I thought you might. Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Is that your little one? They say to you three, not knowing your exact... You walked in with Kiki, but they're not sure of your relationship with Kiki.
She's really excited.
Yeah, she's really getting into that pool. It's a lot of gumption. Does she want to try the rock wall? We got one for, like, little ones.
Hey, Kiki, you want to try the rock wall?
Yes, please. Kiki engages her boots of flight to lift out of the pool, and she just sort of floats over, and she goes, Where?
He points to like a kid zone where they're like a bunch of them are like running around and climbing up a little rock wall.
Amazing.
Please tell me there's a ball pit somewhere.
Obviously, there's like a maze in there that Kiki can have a good time in.
Yeah, Kiki's just like, it's like this crit fails like she's had too much sugar. You've never seen her excited about anything like this except for like mechanisms and science. So
I'll let her enjoy this moment.
Yeah, so this being is like just kind of kicked. He's just laughing. They're laughing to themselves like, "Well, you're gonna have yourself a tired bird tonight. I'll tell you what."
Oh my gosh, the kids section at like a good rock climbing gym is so intimidating because like their lever action is all messed up because they're not quite human proportions yet, and so they move like normal humans cannot on the rock wall, and it's fascinating.
It really is.
Now, my name is... What can I do for you folks?
I'm sorry, do I have to yell the name if I...
No.
Okay.
Everyone else here just calls me Ted.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We are looking for information. Nikki is very distracted by like watching Kiki and like a little bit like too cool for school and a little bit like I bet I could get up there with like some spells.
We're looking for information on a goddess named Sigrudi, who's apparently banned from here, and yeah, we feel the same.
You'll want to see Ironclad High. Yeah, hang on. And he walks into the back, and you see, like, as he goes in the back and just sort of stomps away, this tiny halfling comes walking out in what looks like a black version of the shirt that the other being was wearing, and he's just got a little like crown of iron on him, and he's just like, well, hey, how you doing? I'm Ironclad. Hi.
Oh,
you folks
very
got
nice
some
to meet you.
questions?
Yeah, Tessa, do you want to tell him a bit about what we were looking for?
Yeah, we're looking for information on the plane of Vahita. And before you say anything, we're against it. We need to figure out what we're up against. We're having some issues, and also anything on the goddess Greti.
What? I'm sorry. There's a lot of. There's some.
I don't
bad
know
stuff
who
there.
she is.
No, she's not a great person. But anyway, we do have the archives upstairs, but I cannot give you access unless you pass the test.
What kind of test?
There's varying kinds of tests. It's to prove that you've got the sand. To really be like, to go above and beyond and to be your best self.
I didn't bring any sand with me.
It's a metaphor.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can try.
Alrighty then. This is a test of speed, strength, and wisdom.
Of course it is.
But it's got to be the ones that you're shitty at. That's the ones you got to go do.
Oh.
So you folks ready? Says, kind of clapping his hands like if you've ever been to a gym and they gave you a free personal training session. Like that's the kind of energy he is exuding.
I guess that means I'm going to be doing some heavy lifting.
Probably.
Yes, that means I'm Dex.
Nikki, I guess that means you got to be wise.
Well, I'm not very wise, but if there's book handling, I mean, have you seen me
Point
around books?
Do things that we're bad at.
Yeah, wisdom's it.
All right, folks, come on.
I mean, or just actually strength. I might actually be weaker than Kiki.
Okay. Is your bird friend going to be okay over there?
She'll
I
probably
look
be fine.
pretty delighted. She's actually had a rough past week or so. If we can give her a chance to hang out and just be happy for a bit, that'd be kind of nice.
All right, hang on. And he goes behind the counter, and he'll go to. He's looking at you like he's trying to figure out who's the parent, and he settles on Tessa.
That's accurate.
It's on the biggest.
Doesn't think they're a throuple with their Kinku kids that they adopted.
Well,
He
it's
doesn't-
Drax here.
Yeah, there's
4 of them.
4 of them, and he's like,
Four, sure, polycule, sorry.
he doesn't mind, but he's like, you look like you might be the top, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you. This.
That's a fair choice. What is
yeah.
he giving me?
He's giving you a. This is an exclusive access to like the basic like birthday party room that they have.
Oh
for,
my god,
like,
Kiki's
little
gonna
kid
love
parties.
this.
Yeah. And it's sort of one of those, like, where the kids had a real bad time or, like, they're having a real rough day. Like, they'll get, like, just give this to one of the attendants over in the kids' area, and they'll know what to do with it.
Aw.
I'm gonna go do that to give the ticket over to so that Kiki gets her special treatment.
Okay.
And I come back.
We'll deal with
I'm
that.
like, all right.
Deal with that in a few moments as he leads the 4 of you into kind of a back room. It's like a back room, like, private workout zone. And he goes, okay, which one of you would like to go first?
You can start us off.
Okay. All right. What's your worst of the 3?
Strength.
Okay. And kind of gives you a look up and down.
Yeah, because I've got +6s to Dex and to Wisdom, so.
How's your lift and clean?
It's gonna be good form. It's not necessarily gonna be heavy.
Okay. And your squat? You look like you squat.
I do.
And your bench.
Weakest of the 3.
All right, rack it up. How much do you weigh?
Oh god, how much does Allie weigh? I think I've set Allie at like 5'6", so she's probably like, I don't know, 130, maybe 140. She's a lot of muscle, so I guess 140.
Okay, so he's gonna rack up 225.
Okay.
Oof.
Yep. All right. Do you want I can spot you? Do you want one of your friends?
Actually, it'd be great if Tessa could spot me. She's my usual workout partner.
Yeah,
Not
no
to
problem.
trust me to catch anything.
Okay, so go ahead and make me a strength check, please, Allie.
Okay. Allie will get herself set with very good form. Because the height of the bench is just high enough that, like, getting her feet down to the ground isn't entirely comfortable. She's actually going to put her feet up on the bench. This is how Kate does bench presses. So that's just got a solid base to push from. She'll set her core, she'll protract to get the bar off of the rack, and then she will make an attempt. So just straight strength check.
Just a straight strength check.
14.
Not bad.
Not bad. You struggle a bit, but you get up one rep, and Ironclad goes, great, gravity wheel, and he just goes to the side of the rack and spins the wheel, and it is now 2 times gravity.
Okay.
Make me another strength check with disadvantage.
Well,
Oh no!
Oh no,
Listeners, that's a 1.
that's a 1. Luckily, Tessa's there to grab it, as
Right.
that was very shocking for you to have gravity suddenly change.
yep.
And
Allie doesn't flinch, though. Like, when the bar starts to drop, like, Allie's just entirely confident that Tessa's going to catch it.
Oh yeah, she can lift that.
yeah, and Tessa just boom. It takes Tessa a little bit to bring it up, and he pulls it back to like normal gravity. All right. Pass, he says, looking at you with respect. Do you know why you passed?
Because I trusted that one?
Yeah, and also, you went for it. You didn't freak out. You didn't panic. You got heart, kid.
Thanks. And
All
thanks, Tessa, for keeping me from being squashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that thing was going to take your fucking head off.
Yeah, I
Can't have a squashed cousin. That'd be bad. I won't want to have to explain that to Aunt Radonna.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't have liked that.
An effectively 450-pound bar coming down on your upper chest.
All right, who's next?
Sure.
All right. All right, we're going to do some math. How you feel about math?
Really good? Isn't this supposed to be about things I'm bad at?
I like your honesty. Get on the bench.
Oh.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay, my strength is worse than my wisdom. But if it's important that we round out the 3, my wisdom is also only a +1.
Okay, so he'll look. How much do you weigh? He asks.
Oh gosh. Nikki is probably about the same height as Allie.
You are a string bean.
But an absolute. I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to like backtrack. Like, okay, how much?
If you grew up
muscle-
on the docks, so like if you're a thin
5'6",
5'6", I'd probably put you at like
130.
I'd put you at like 120 even.
I'm gonna say like 120, 110. So the thing is, Nick grew up on the docks, but there was a complete physique shift
It's true.
when he became Nicky. So probably like 110, 115, like
Really light
really
for 5'6".
unhealthily
So
skinny.
around for reference, I'm 5'2" and I'm 130.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking back to when I was like really like unhealthily skinny, and I was like 120 at 5'10". So like 115 at 5'7". Yeah, I was really, really skinny, like really
Yeah, 115
disastrously
at
skinny.
5'7" would be like a very lean,
Yeah, she's on the edge of like
minimally muscled.
very unhealthily underweight
So you're gonna watch
because
as
she doesn't do anything, right?
right. So he's gonna look at you and he's gonna unrack that 225 because that's
Yes.
that's not a good thing. And he
No.
puts.
I mean, start her with the bar. She literally
No,
mage
no, no,
hands
no.
her chairs out at the table. Like,
Right, he'll put 100 pounds on the bar,
okay,
and he'll tell you.
150
Go
for her.
ahead.
I mean, maybe it might be doable.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So go ahead and make me a strength check, please.
All right, it's a straight d20 for me. It's a 16. That's a good roll.
Shockingly, you're able to do it without. You're able. That looks smoother than Allie's. And he goes, "All right, gravity wheel," and he spins it. Half gravity times 1/2 gravity.
Ooh, okay,
So go ahead and make me another strength check with advantage.
okay. Only a 13.
You do a little bit worse. So Alan really fucks you up a little bit.
I do it really good. I'm like, whoa, it got light, and I'm kind of like, I like turned my head a little bit, like in like confusion, and so now I'm lifting more with that side, like kind of off.
It's
balance.
also
it's not.
But it's
great.
also your second rep.
Yeah.
Nikki might be tired.
Is gone.
Yeah. I think Nikki might have like a 1 RM of yes.
When you're at max of did.
So luckily, Tessa's there to kind of straighten you out fairly easy. Tessa could probably do this with one hand, but you know she doesn't want to shoot up on you, so she straightens
She
you
could
out.
look at the bars sternly, and it would just spare itself out.
And you get like, you know, with Tessa's help, you kind of get it racked back and safe, and he's like, all right, I like it, good. Meanwhile, Kiki, just so you folks know, over in the kids' room, once there's an announcement that the special birthday place is open, Kiki, you have become like basically queen of the island. The children are following you. Some sort of Moses situation as you lead them to this promised land of like inflatable playthings and like very active stuff, but like all the fun blow-up stuff you would see like at a carnival.
Oh god, I'm picturing like there's like a back section of it dedicated to like laser tag or something.
Oh my god! Tell me there's a zip line somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like 3 of them.
Yeah, Kiki will be all about like she's going to be basically do the smorgasbord version of like she's going to try a little bit of a lot of things, and she's going to be very much like she'll like turn to her new friends, be like, what's next? Like, she's going out of full bra mode, and now is in the bra. Like now she's a little bit like into like what are we doing next? Like go team.
And there's this mob of like young-ish children, like the real young ones kind of lose interest and like wander off as they're wont to do, but like kind of the 10-year-olds and like younger teens are definitely into this. Like they're like, you have led them in, and they're now like it is rampant, not quite chaos. They're kind of just everyone's being nice, but they're definitely having a good time. Like, and there's an even bigger ball pit. Like it's ungodly big.
Kiki will have them put together like to create a game from scratch, or ask if anyone knows games about like what to do. The ball pit cooperative, of course, because that's how she's going to roll. And but she'll be all about the physics of the ball pit. Like, can you actually swim in this? Like, is it bouncy? Like, what's the way to propel people forward the most efficiently? So she's not explaining a lot. She's not being like didactic or anything, but she'll just sort of be like half calculating and half just like jumping in feet first.
Okay. And amongst them, you do find a... Let me roll. You find a... I had something that left, but I'm trying to find it again.
Oh, it's okay. If you wait too long, Kiki will find a way to construct a ball gun to like with the materials around, or trebuchet for the ball pits, to hurl balls all over the place.
Hurling kids into the ball pit with the trebuchet.
Even better, yes. If she thinks about it for a second, she'll turn to one this step. She'll turn one step and be like, signed waivers, right? And she'll point to the kids.
And they're like, no, as the kid just flies anyway, because the kids are just not stopping them. They're fine. They're astral beings. They're probably safe. But amongst them, Kiki, you find this... Like, there's all sorts of kids amongst you. Like, there's what look to be like humanoid, like what you're used to from the mortal plane. There's like spirits and ethereal creatures just kind of hanging out doing whatever. And there is this one sort of older being that's just sort of enjoying themselves. Like, you can tell, like, they're still a child, like, kind of, but they're just old. Like, maybe this is a reincarnation cycle that's come back around. Now they're kind of, like, back in the kid phase. But it is it is like a like a badger of sorts, like an animal kind of spirit, and it has seemed to take a liking to you. And as you know, it's always trying to hang out with you, like kind of be closer to you. And it does tell you that it was, you get to chatting a little bit as you're doing things. And it starts to thank you very politely and says like, hey, if my mom is gonna come pick me up later, like, do you want to come to dinner? Like, it's trying to like invite you to, to be like out to come hang out with it.
Oh, Kiki is getting a little too childlike, and she kind of like claps her. Like she's really acting. Claps her hands. She goes, "Oh, here with friends. Okay, friends come. Have to ask.
Yeah, should be fine. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, Kiki will get the deets. Like how to communicate, because she doesn't know like if we have to do something immediately, like but otherwise she'll extend the offer to her friends to do dinner, and she'll thank her. Before her new friend leaves, she's gonna she still has her bag with her or no?
Yeah,
she doesn't have bombs. So yeah, she'll do a quick one of her quick little windy up toys from like wire and stuff, and give it to her like new friend as like a little like.
Yeah, and you see the sort of, to what to you looks like the sort of badger creature just kind of pops it in its mouth, but you see it floating in its tummy as if like that's where it keeps things. Like,
okay.
Yeah, it's not being dissolved; it's just there, so it doesn't. But like things can't get in. Like the balls aren't going into it. Well, a few honestly, a few are bouncing around in there because it got curious, but like that'll come out later. Tessa, so you chose Dex, right?
That's my lowest score.
Okay. So he says, "All right, cool. Chase this chicken," and up comes he snaps his fingers and out comes a have you seen Moana?
Yes.
The crazy.
Is it hey?
It looks like a hey. And it just looks at you like it's all its eyes look crazy.
All right, now I've chased a few geckos in my day. I can do this.
And this thing bolts almost as fast as Allie, just immediately across the place. It's like the Roadrunner just moving.
Oh my god, I can't cheat, right? I can't use Kiki's scarf. I'll just, okay, so what do you want me to roll?
Dex
Just Dex?
check.
Dex check. 12.
Alright. It eludes you. You go for a big jump, and it just sort of gets out of the way, and it's just doing anime dodges where you just kind of go across its beak, but it makes its back so you can't catch it as it keeps moving.
I'm gonna try again.
Try again.
I got a 13.
Ooh, you grab it by the tail, but one of its feathers pops off as it continues to run. You almost got it that time.
I actually look a little upset that I pulled out its tail feather, because I feel like Tessa would understand that pulling somebody's feathers is not a nice thing.
Oh, it's molting constantly. It's losing.
She apologizes to the chicken.
The chicken says something back, which Allie would know, because you can hear it in its language. It basically says "get good scrub" and continues to kind of pop around. But you hear that, Allie. But yeah,
Allie cracks up. Jesse, don't feel bad. He's taunting you.
I'm gonna try again.
All right, roll with advantage. Ooh,
20. Non-natural.
Yeah, you grab that son of a bitch like Rocky this time, and just by the throat, you're like, "Rah!" And it seems a little into the fact that you have it by the throat. Like a little too into it.
I just picture Tessa being like, "What did you say to me?"
Did you say what? Say what?
So, Allie, as Tessa has it by the throat, you just hear it being like, "Yeah," and then it vanishes from your hand.
Okay. Not the weirdest thing I've ever done, but it's up there.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, "All right, that's 3 for 4." And he looks at Thrax, and he goes, "You've got mesh on. That's a pass." Thrax is like, "Yeah." Let's he's brave enough to
as you can see you can see his abs, I'm sure, through the mesh shirt.
Is it a crop top mesh shirt?
Obviously, it's cut off just barely above the pectorals. Barely above them.
Is he wearing his backwards hat?
No. There are no...
Okay, good.
That's one of those things that's banned from here. Apparently
okay,
they don't...
good.
Yeah. So, Ironclad High is just sort of like, "Alright, Very well done. Let's askew to my office. And he looks like he's not really sure if that's the right word. But then he just kind of goes, okay, let's go. And then just moves.
Nikki opens her mouth to be like, oh, actually. And then she's like, no, let it go.
Actually.
So he walks over and he basically, as you go to his office, you see him pop out of a door, like a side door, and he just brings you what is functionally a lost and found box. Just puts it in front of you.
Okay.
And it could be in there. A lot of stuff ends up here. So,
All right.
investigation.
Start
or
rummaging
perception
with my
check, folks.
identifingies.
Investigation or perception check. This is functionally a huge box of holding, Rob. So, like,
No, Kiki's not there.
Nope.
Investigation is boss.
you're making friends.
Yeah.
Can we help with the investigating?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I perception check?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Tessa, make a religion check.
Ooh.
20 unnatural.
21 perception for Allie.
And a 21 investigation for Nikki.
So together, you do find old beat up books in here.
Good.
They look like they shouldn't be existing right now. Like they're that impossibly old.
Cool.
There is a lot of Nikki, as you touch one with your invisifingies, one of them is bound by leathered flesh of various creatures.
Got it. So as soon as I brush against that one, I stop. I take out my librarian gloves from my bag, and then I'll keep rummaging.
And you see Thrax nodding approvingly in the background. We're learning, he says. So you find a couple of those books. You also find a very gnarly looking obsidian dagger. Ooh. That looks like it's just made to cause harm. Like, this is probably ceremonial or ritual. Like, this is not like a combat dagger because it looks weird.
Does it magic or is it just spooky?
Both. It magics and it'd be spoopy.
I'm going to set that one aside to poke it more thoroughly in a little bit.
Okay. And the last thing, it looks like that you find that kind of has this resonance, and this is Tessa what you pick up, is you find a very large scale of a dragon.
Ooh.
But it's platinum, and there are deep scars that are punched into this thing that have not broken through, but are just like etched. Like years upon years have been trying to break this thing, but it has not given.
Okay.
Like Bahamut scale?
It's platinum, and there are not that many big platinum dragons around.
Well, we'll set that one aside as well. So we've got a
Allie
couple
will
of...
turn to Tessa and say, you know who we could ask about that, right? Jorah and Mala?
Oh, probably.
Got a couple of crusty books, got a spooky dagger, and got a fucked up scale. So I'm going to take the time to sit down and properly identify all of those.
Okay. You identify the scale, and it is irradiating divine energy in a sort of defiance. And there's a lot of other types of energy have tried to pierce this thing, but it just hasn't been able to. But it looks like people have been there's marks on it to look like there's been experimentation on the scale to your eyes. The dagger is just you feel bad. This is some sort of for some sacrifice type shit, and it makes your stomach drop when you begin to identify it. The tomes seem to be from when I say a hag coven, I mean the hag coven of the Black City. They run part of the plane, so this is you haven't popped it open yet because as you identify a thing, you're like, oh, this is crazy cursed and warded by their particular brand of arcane magic. So popping it open would be a bad idea right here.
Yeah, so I'll kind of share all of that. So these are definitely Valhita books, like from the Black City. If I have learned one thing, I think I've probably learned exactly one thing over the past several weeks. Well, okay, I've learned lots of things about spell. I'm not going to open the books.
Thrax nodding approvingly in the background behind.
I'd like toss them a thumbs up. But we should definitely like dig into those, maybe with Sylvia's help. She might know a thing or two about dealing with cursed books. This is definitely some kind of murder dagger. It's like sacrificial, but like gross. Okay, so Nikki has been possessed by a couple of Shadowfell bullshits and been visited by others. Does this feel like Shadowfell bullshit stomach dropping, or is this a different flavor of stomach dropping?
It's a whole different flavor.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah, this is
Was
just
it like
fell.
This doesn't feel fell-y. Nothing like when I was possessed a while back, but like definitely gross. Different flavor of gross though. So interesting, but probably not what we're here for. And then it might be good once Kiki comes down to have her take a look at, like, Tessa, you see this mark here? Like, I think someone was drilling it?
Didn't look like it worked.
It really doesn't. It's just, I mean, like, you kind of got to hold it sideways to even see, but, like, the arc there, I don't know, it looks like a Kiki thing.
We should definitely show it to Kiki later.
Okay, so I'd love to take a look at these books. Can we just borrow these?
Yeah,
Like, they're not ours, so
you can take them if you want. I don't want them. Like, we don't want any of this.
All right. Nikki's a little bit conflicted about someone just being like, "Take the cursed book, go for it." I'm like, is this encouraging bad habits? Okay, I take the books.
I mean, you folks pass the test, so you can take whatever you want out of it.
All right.
Is there anything else that looks interesting in there, even outside of the stuff that we're looking for?
Perception check, please, to root around.
Can I help her by like poking at stuff that looks interesting to help detect her vibes? Do you want me to give her advantage or roll on my own?
Give her advantage, so go ahead and roll again, Kate. 24 becomes a 22, so less. There's a lot of weird stuff in here. Like, there's also sort of like half-eaten protein powder bottles. So like, the thing that you find though,
some really, really crusty earbuds.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you do find a very like odd-looking rock. It's how do I put this? It is white. It's sort of see-through, but as you touch it, Nikki, with your identifingies, music starts to come out that you can hear, but no one else seems to be able to.
I don't stop touching it. What song is it?
It is a sort of a techno-y anthem, like very pump up, like Jock Jams music.
Okay.
Good has Nikki found an IROC.
Nikki has found an IROC.
Do you hear that, Allie?
No? But I'm also not touching the weird shiny rock that you're currently touching, so...
Stop touching the weird shiny rock.
Allie touches the weird shiny rock.
Allie now hears it, and it stops for Nikki.
Now I hear it.
Okay.
Can we keep the rock?
Sure.
This is a cool rock.
Thrax takes it. He just fucking puts his hands in. Actually, no. Bosco just jumps in and like goes in for something. And Thrax is like, no. And
hauls him up by the hind legs. See what he's fished up. Yeah.
And he has a rock in his mouth.
Good.
And he's just kind of like trying to chew on it.
Does it look similar?
No, it looks so different. He goes, Tessa, can you?
I'll try to wrench it out of his mouth.
You do, and all of a sudden you feel this rock is magic. Make a history check for me, Tessa. Okay, so you remember that your aunt has an otter folk that works for her. Work is a loose term. It sort of hangs out at the
Posh.
keep. Posh, yeah. And Posh always has a tummy rock with him. Because he's an otter. However, Posh's tummy rock is magic. And this looks a lot like Posh's tummy rock. Not his, but like his.
She kind of just like turns it over and inspect. What kind of magic is it? Like, should I do an Arcana check?
Yeah, do an Arcana check.
Crit.
It's dormant now, but you can pretty much put any... You know from... You talked with Posh about it one day. And he was like, yeah, you can just put whatever you want in there. So you're able... It's basically like
A rock of holding?
Of, like, spell holding.
Yeah.
Oh. Nikki, do you want this?
Rocks are good. I'm double fisting now. I have cool rocks.
So as you touch that one, though, Nikki, this one feels like it's designed for radiant magic, not... Yeah.
I hand it back to Tessa. I don't think that vibe's right for me. It's more your jam.
Well, maybe I could put some healing spells on it. That could never hurt.
And those are mostly interesting unless you want to, like, a hoodie or two, which are also in this box.
Are they magic hoodies?
They're magically comfortable.
Fair enough.
So with that, finding most of the rest of the interesting things, Ironclad High sees you out into the main area where you see Kiki is in a, like, brand sweatshirt hoodie of this place, which is actually got a face of the guy on it doing, like, curls. And she is at the head of a swarm of children that seem to have claimed Kiki as possibly their leader or champion.
Okay. Everything seems good here.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki is pretty awesome.
Kiki's leading them in low-key war games. but with, like, foam noodles and stuff, like... She's telling about the time she helped to defend Nikki's lands against the baddies and stuff. So.
And so as you folks,
and Kiki's like, once she tears herself away from her new friend, she's like, oh, made a friend, invite a dinner, and she'll like wave the note or whatever the address in front of them. Go to dinner tonight. She'll ask the four of you, and Bosco too.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Absolutely.
Never turn down food.
Good. Badger friend with toy and tummy and some other things in tummy, see-through tummy.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of shrugs, like NBD.
Yeah, so you see that this starry badger creature that Kiki's referring to has one of Kiki's, like, thrown together clockwork toys in its tummy. Probably about 3 ball pit balls and, like, a 15 dumbbell weight just in its stomach, just kind of free floating there. And it waves at you.
I'll be back.
And then the next thing you folks see is there is a massive bear constellation that looks a lot like the badger's makeup, just kind of coming in with 2 little ones kind of running around it. And it just sort of moves in there and looks at you as the badger kind of runs over to greet it. And the bear greets it like one of its cubs. And you hear it talking in a sort of celestial. And the bear kind of looks over at Kiki and sort of shrugs like, yeah, okay.
Does the little one do anything? Like make a gesture back?
Yeah,
or
he's
anything?
like waving you over on his, like, he's up on his back paws, like waving you to meet its bomb.
Kiki grabs Tessa by like the sweatshirt. I don't know what are you wearing again?
Sports bra?
Okay, she doesn't grab. She grabs you by the hand. Never mind. And she just she starts dragging all of you over to meet the family. She's like, "Hi, Kiki. These are friends."
Hi.
Do they speak or anything?
Yeah, the large bear constellation goes, oh, well, We're happy to have you all for dinner. And it looks at Thrax, and it cocks its head like, you're, and he goes, yeah. And he goes, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, we were, okay. This makes sense now. He's like, it, she says, kind of thinking about it. Yeah, you're.
Like, what the hell are you doing here, you mortals? Oh, okay, you're with
you're
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, you've been invited to feast with us if you would care to. We're having caribou.
Not sure I've ever had that.
Kiki shrugs, but
And
nods.
I'm happy to try.
And you see it open its mouth very wide, and it tells you to get in.
Kiki's like, when you say have us for dinner, and she looks at the other beings like and her new friend for reassurance.
Yeah,
Like,
and they, like, you see the little ones just kind of climb in, and then as they kind of pop in the tummy, they just sort of sit in there.
all right, Kiki goes in.
Down.
Yeah. Can we see out?
Yeah, you can see out.
I wave to the gaffers inside the valley.
And Thrax just goes, okay, and he climbs the bear's mouth. Bosco follows.
Well, I assume that's not going to be dangerous, so off I go.
Onward. Yeah.
Hell, I'm going as well.
So everyone hops in. The bear walks out of the place. There's a sort of flash of darkness, and you folks find that you're kind of out of the bear, and there's about 4 caribou carcasses just kind of on the ground.
Just freshly killed,
Yeah,
raw.
Freshly killed raw. And like the badger and the little bears are now a little bit more solid form. They go and begin to eat the caribou, as they are wont to do. And the
You
mother-
don't skin it first?
No, the fur is the best part.
Is it?
Not sure we can
Press
digest
X
fur.
to doubt.
Oh.
I can get a little fire going for us probably if we've got anything real. If like, is there anything like, is this bare ground? Is there wood nearby? Like,
Yeah, like you're in a sort of forest area.
okay.
Josuke just kind of moves one of the carcasses towards you guys. Just sort of like grabs it. Urgh.
I'm picturing you starting a fire and this astral bear being like, only you can prevent forest fires. Kiki she'll actually eat the raw meat. She just, not the fur though, but like,
Mhm.
she's like, that's in her wheelhouse of what she could do. At least it's a little like atavistic for her to do that, but she's,
Yeah, and you see that your badger
Sharks.
friend will like rip out a piece with its mouth, can kind of put it in front of you
Yeah.
for you to have. Yeah.
yeah, Kiki will eat it.
Yep. And at this point, the bear introduces herself as Urza Major, and the tiny ones as Urza Minors.
Nice.
And she's chatting with you, and she informs that she's, she, much like the sky, has been around since sort of forever. And she's seen quite a lot of things in her time, but she's very rarely sees mortals up here. But you're with Star's son, so this makes sense to her.
Kiki nods. She's like, yes. Here to learn about Valhita, and she makes a like face, like ooh, icky, and
Just,
she's like,
those are
and
dark skies, the bear says to you.
she's like, and she looks at her friends for confirmation. She's like, and Zagretti?
One of the older ones, yes. She was banished, or many of them were.
She appears to possibly be back.
That does not bode
At least
well.
have influence again.
Well, it might lead to another war in the sea. Then the bear says, kind of like, ugh. Yeah, history checks, please.
19.
Yeah, like, no idea what that's about.
Really, very busy making sure you don't eat raw caribou.
Yeah, no, Ellie is very much distracted by making sure that nobody here dies of food poisoning.
Just a
16 for Kiki. Oh, same for Kiki.
Yeah.
So it's Tessa. It's something that you learned about being close to Allura, as your family is, that the war in the Astral Sea was basically a war between the gods, and a number of them were banished at the end of that, like beyond the realms. And it's concerning that Sigretti is back, as she's supposed to be gone.
Like, permanently gone?
Yeah, like those gods were exiled. Because they did
Exiled, but not destroyed.
Some of them ended up in limbo, but many of them were exiled because they were the ones that did not want to go with the Accords. They didn't want there to be Accords, but everyone else agreed there should be, and that's the side that won. So you have this lovely caribou dinner. And then the, Urza Major will send you back to the plane if you would like.
Kiki will ask if they just have any advice about dealing with Sigretti, because they're like very old and have, big view. So she'll just be like,
Yeah.
she'll be like, have advice? How to deal?
The best defense, Urza Major says, is to understand who your friends are and to not let Sigretti get into the cracks that form in relationships, be it cracks of family, bonds of friendship. Even the slightest ones will cause rifts that may break you apart. Alone, you are weak. Any hunter knows that. You separate one from the herd. Together, you are much stronger. These, and she kind of looked down at the caribou, were separated.
Ominous.
Kiki writes in her notebook, just say no to crack. She remembers.
She will try to break you. She does not. This is the Concord. The Conclave is not something she would want to have happen.
Kiki pulls out her puzzle box and she looks at the warning crystal. Does it look like anything in particular right now?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of giving you a low-key, like, don't make the bear mad.
Oh,
yeah, don't
she
poke
puts
at
it
the
away.
star bear. But, like, no. It's the crystal is like, you're fine right now, but there's an ancient star bear being, like, don't make it mad. Like,
oh, like Kiki's being very, like, casual. Like, it's family dinner. It's like, ancient being. Got it. If we're getting ready to leave, Kiki will ask her new friend, the little one, if it's okay to hug goodbye.
And it gives you it's surprisingly solid as your arms touch it, and then it goes, well, hang on, and it just sort of sneezes, and you find that on your boomstick is this little constellation that's etched itself into one of the wood parts. And it looks sort of like the outline of the badger.
Oh, thank you. And she kind of just traces around the image. Very pretty. Very pretty.
I hope I see you again before you perish, mortal. Wait for you.
He gives a thumbs up. I know, yeah. I'm with Nikki, like, thanks.
And you folks are returned to the mountain and the Temple of Fran to digest the information that you have.
And also the caribou.
And also the caribou. Everyone make me a con check, please. Con saving throw, please.
Oh,
con saving
throw.
Are we close to...
Yeah.
We get the +5?
Yeah.
My words failed me.
23.
Allie's fine. Wow, Rob, you're fine.
32.
Yeah, you're good. Critical fail for Kiki.
What the hell? Oof.
Kiki, maybe you shouldn't have eaten it raw. Like,
The raw.
like tartar is good if you have a little bit of it, but you had a little. You got an upset tummy. You're not gonna die, but like you're not poisoned, but like you're gonna have an upset tummy for a little bit.
Oh no.
Everyone else feels like, wow, we made the correct choice in roasting the caribou. Good job, us.
Yeah, Kiki was all like, my ancestors ate raw meat. I'll be fine. I'm living in the wild. Rah. And I usually eat biscuits in my shack, but I'll just switch to raw meat. It's fine.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Ugh.
But yeah, folks, so then, a couple of you folks get some time to have Nikki work on these artifacts. About a day goes by when Tessa at the temple, Carl once again comes running at you in a panic.
Do you have a stack of papers?
No,
It's usually paperwork.
it is not paperwork.
Ooh.
Carl, what's wrong?
There's a fleet of skyships here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not prepared to deal with that.
Is the person who's flying this fleet? Oh wait, am I there or is it just us right now?
I mean,
Sorry.
you're always the temple, so.
Is the person leading the fleet of ships wearing a really big hat with a feather in it?
It's not the dragon lady.
Oh, all right.
I immediately run outside to see what the fuck is going on.
You run
Yeah,
outside and
out.
Yep.
Well, only Allie and Kiki. Sorry, only Allie and Tessa are there right now. Because Kiki's at her estate with Nikki.
Oh, right.
That's where you guys are.
All right, there's no reason to
we
panic.
would be gone.
There's
Okay.
no reason to panic. If they were enemies, they would have fired by now.
Yep, so
Let's
what you see is an odd thing. It looks like a small flotilla, because like you folks have seen airships before, like skyboats, basically. The Admiral of Ventos has one of these. These are not as... So basically there's a gradient of airships, right? There's like the top of the line, which the Admiral Pendragon has, down sort of like dirigible situations. These are definitely on the higher end, and there seems to be like a small carrier that's about the size of a dwarven ironclad, a little bit smaller, that's just hanging out there. But it's odd because there's flowers and they're very violently painted. And Tessa, the temple's defenses are like trained on these things of like, we don't know what this is, but we're not going to fire because are they friendly or not? Until eventually a boat, like a small like dinghy that's again flying, which is not something the Admiral has, comes down. And they, once they get they're coming down slowly to show that they're friendly, and they're waving a flag of a nation you're not familiar with on sight.
Neither of us?
None of you are.
Okay.
I do slap chat Nikki and Kiki like, we have some visitors. Seem friendly. They have airships. Kiki may want to take a look. It seems magical as fuck.
Kiki says as soon as she's out of the bathroom, she'll come and she'll come.
He's had a rough night.
Oof.
And then she'll make her way down.
Nothing like
as
being
soon as she's
vegan and then
feeling
going right to raw meat. Yeah, no bad will come of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Tessa, they do stop, and they're sort of waiting for clearance to come down, because they understand that, like, while no one's firing at them, there are weapons trained on them, because...
I just kind of give the signal to, like, for our defenses to stand down and kind of gesture them forward.
So this little skiff, it sort of looks like almost a very small sand skiff that's just flying, and there are two individual beings on board, pretty well dressed. They look like diplomats. Both of them have like a deep mahogany skin. One of them is a woman, and she has these kind of bigger, thicker dreads that are all numbered of different colors capped on the end. The gentleman has a pretty big afro, and there are different like tools kind of lodged in there, like a screwdriver and like little itty bitty things. But again, they're very well dressed. The gentleman looks like a captain of some kind, and he's all smiles, and he greets you in a slightly different form of common than you're used to, but it's still at root common. And he says, are you the champion?
Yeah, that's nice to meet you. I'm Tessa. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
My name is Captain Mabai.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Captain. What brings you here?
Word reached us that in Etho that the Conclave has been restored.
With Etho.
You
Is
have
that in Ryam?
no idea.
Forgive my ignorance. I'm not really sure where that is. Where in
We're-
Ryam is that?
We're in the southeast of Ryam, in
Oh,
a
the
continent below the
southeast.
Thousand Isles.
Oh, okay. Haven't really spent much time there, to be honest. So I apologize.
Yeah,
I definitely just saw Scoot consult his map on the wall over there.
Making sure I know where it is.
Are Kiki and I there yet?
you're making your
Yeah,
way
I
up
mean-
there. Yeah, you're definitely
We're making our way
by
uptown.
at this point kind of like rushing there, and you can see the ships in the distance.
Okay.
Allie is kind of
Kiki's-
relaying information to you guys while Tessa is having the conversation.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Kiki's on the big gruff to speed things up, and she picks up Nikki. Nikki can't fit inside while Kiki's there, but Nikki can ride on top. While
Right on top. Yeah.
big,
Love it.
big gruff's in like second gear.
And he goes, "We are here to discuss entering the Conclave."
Oh,
Ethos
sure.
and
Do you
many-
want to come inside?
Of course.
We can sit down and get some tea and some cakes.
Wonderful. Well, also, we heard there's another project happening here. Sheer?
Allie raises her hand. That one's mine.
Then we come to support this as well. And he looks up at the fleet of airships, and he goes, "Some of these is our good faith donation to the Conclave.
What?
Not the carrier, though. That's mine."
We
I-
didn't.
The woman behind him sort of goes like, "Ugh, God."
We made no assumptions whatsoever. Please do come inside. Let's talk specifics a little bit more. And I know it's not the most comfortable temperature out here as it gets later in the evening.
No, it's fine. And this is where we'll pick up next week, folks, with these newcomers.
Ooh, newcomers.
All right, but from all
Kiki,
this, Go ahead, Kiki.
I was like, Kiki's already like elbowing Nikki and be like, that one's mine. She's pointing to one of the ships. She's like, she's assuming we each get one. That's it.
So it's good to be back, folks. Next week we'll have something little special as we're doing a secret solstice. So all the characters have been scheming to get each other's presence. But until then, folks, thank you for coming to Ryam, and we'll see you next week.